So the belt itself made of multiple ply canvas duct surface with rubber covers for friction and resistance to abrasion. So the canvas may be varied in numbers of plies and weight of the duct used is or are for the following 28, 32, 36, and 42 so that it will have sufficient strength for tight side tension, be firm enough to prevent sagging between carries and yet flexible enough to pass around pulleys readily. So the table shows the belt conveyor properties. So estimating power requirements of various conveyors, the empirical relations of table 12-2 may be helpful, but estimates of space and support requirements will have to be implemented by references to manufacturer's data. So the symbols tables 12-2 and 12-3 have the following meanings. So A, working area of each ply with a unit of meter squared, belt width centimeter, unit of centimeters, or bucket pitch in meters. So SX sign of angle, inclination of the conveyor, horsepower constant, seat table 12-3 conveyor length in meters, drive shaft speed in RPM, lineal speed of conveyor in meters per minute, conveyor capacity tons coal per hour, individual bucket load in kilogram coal, and weight of single strand change and flight kilogram per meters. So next would be the table to with the conveyor capacity and power. So it has a conveyor type, maximum capacity tons per hour, its unit, horsepower required to drive shaft. And the next would be the pulverized coal systems. So that table 12-3 horsepower constants for belt conveyors. It has a belt width in centimeters. So these are the choices: K, the triple HP, and the belt type. Next would be the 12-4 pulverized coal systems. The burning of coal in pulverized form has been previously discussed to prepare the coal for the system of combustion, of course, more difficult and costly than by the other methods of firing. So this one is expensive. There are two systems of preparation of pulverized coal. So the central system, the the bin or the BIIN system, the unit system. So the central system employs a limited numbers of larger capacity pulverizers at a central point to prepare coal for all the burners. From the pulverizes the coal is transported to a central storage bin where it is deposited and its transporting air vented from the bin through a cyclone. This bin may contain from 12 to 24 hours supply of pulverized coal. So the advantages are the pulverizing mill may work at constant load because of the storage capacity between it and burners. So next is the large storage is a protection against interruption of fuel supply to the burners. Next offers good control of coal fineness. It's fine. So the boiler aisles are unobstructed. So next would be the disadvantages: additional cost and complexity of coal transportation systems, so costly. Central preparation may require a separate building. Dryers are usually necessary. Fire hazard of quantities of stored pulverized coals. So it's hazardous. So we must take precautionary measures to avoid it. So the unit system is so called from the fact that each burner or burner group and the pulverized constitute a unit. Crushed coal is fed to the pulverizing mill at the variable rate governed by a combustion requirements of boiler and furnace. So the advantages are it is cheaper than the central system, so it's a low cost system, so it allows direct control of combustion from the pulverizer. coal which would require drying in order to function satisfactorily in the central system may usually be employed without drying in the unit system. And a replacement of stokers and tall conveyors of bunker equipment may be used. So next is there is no complex transportation system. So disadvantages are the mills operate at variable load, a condition not specially conducive to best results. So it it doesn't um like for example it has the what they call the the results is somewhat it's not what you expected. It's like that with load factors in common practices. Total mill capacity must be higher than for the central system. So third is firing aisle is obstructed with pulverizing equipment unless the latter is relegated to a basement. So pulverizer is the most important part of pulverized coal system. So this one is very essential in the coal system. In general, pulverizers, sometimes called mills, may be classified as attrition or impact types. So impact types, ball mills, hammer mills. So attrition mills are ball mills, ball and brace mills. So ball and brace mills are the designation referring to the appearance of the grinding elements themselves. Ball mills, however, grinds the coal between whirling ball and rolls mounted and pivoted axis. Ball mill operates something like a foundry tumbling barrel. The large rotating drum contains a quantity of iron balls mixed with the coal. Hammer mills have the swimming hangers or bars into the pot of which is fed to the coal to be pulverized. So oil and gas supply systems. So gas burning systems are low pressure. Example 0.7 kilogram per centimeter squared, and high pressure 0.35 to 1.41 kg per centimeter squared. It may be practical to install the gas meter in the final reduced pressure in high pressure system, but in intermediate pressure 0.35 to 141 kg per centimeter squared is preferable for metering with low pressure system in order to reduce gas volume and meter size. All unlike gas, fuel always compares favorably with coal in storage bulk. Oil will contain about twice the heating value of coal per cubic meter of storage. So fuel oil is transported in barge, railway tank cars, and motor trucks. On US roads, these are 30 to 83, 37, 854, or 45,425 liters capacity. So the next one is the table 12-4, which is the dimensions of bulk storage. It has a diameter in meters, length in meters, capacity in liters, plate thickness in millimeters, weight in kilograms. So the next one would be the preheating needs in fuel oil system. So this one is the preheating needs in fuel oil system. So, flue gas cleaning, the products of combustion, coal-fed fires contain particles of solid matter floating in suspension. This may be smoke or dust. If smoke, the indication is that combustion conditions are faulty. The proper remedy in the design and management of furnace. If dust or particles are mainly fine ash particle called fly ash, intermixed with some quantity of carbon ash material called cinder. So this figure is the typical particle size. A. Flue gas particles, ranges of collecting equipment. B. Typical distribution of particle size and the products of combustion. So the A is the particle size microns, B is the percent smaller than. So next, consequently, dust collection is often of importance even in the absence of such things as municipal ordinances. So nomenclature. As the highly specialized field of dust collection, the size of dust particles is measured in microns. So the micron is a 1 millionth of a meter. So that would be 1 times 10 raised to 6. Gravitational serrators. act by slowing down the gas flow so that the particles remain in a chamber long enough to settle to the bottom. So inertial separators act by change of direction of gas which cannot be followed completely by the heavier particles. So common forms are baffle, the lover, and the cyclone separators. Electrical precipitator. This separation principle consists of imposing an electrical charge on the particles as they pass near a collecting electrode of opposite polarity. So it is proprietary, having been originally developed by Cottrell installation. Dust collectors are installed between the boiler outlet and the chimney, usually on the chimney side of the air heater. So reinjection, the dust and cinders which are collected by this equipment fall into hoppers for which they must be removed by some system. Two alternatives are: first, the dispose to fly ash bin with a pneumatic ash transport system. Second, reinject the collection into the furnace borne upon an air jet furnace by reinjection of fan capable about 25.4 centimeters water static pressure, and the absolute efficiency of dust collector is percentage of entering solids that will remove by the collector. So ash handling. So all coal has more or less ash. Combustion of the coal is attended by the necessity of providing some means of removing the ash which is deposited in the ash hopper. So this figure shows the outline of ash disposal equipment. Ash disposal systems are designed for the intermittent or the continuous operation. An ash handling system will consist of a means for removing ash from the furnace and loading it onto the conveyor to deliver the ash to fuel or storage, and means of disposing of stored ash. So the air preheater. Some steam generators are equipped with auxiliary heating circuits designed to increase the temperature of the air for combustion by transferring heat from the products of combustion. The method of transferring heat can be used to divide air heaters into two classes: the recuperative and the regenerative. So that's the two types of air preheater. So So the coefficient of heat transfer in the form of an overall conductance is generally available from two sources. One is empirical equations of the other rational equation of which is often used. There are, however, other rational forms whose absence from this book does not imply that they are inferior in any way to those furnished. Values of the constants for the empirical form of equation for overall conductance given by Krisinger for conventional static heaters are A is equals to 1.95 and B is 0.004.